I will show you the introduction of STATA. It's a useful tool to do some data analytics and regressions. Because I'm also new to STATA, so what I'm showing you here is what I'm also learning now at the moment for the statistics and data science. So it could be something very basic because the topic and also the aim of showing this kind of video is to tell you that we can get learn together. And I know that you guys, some people already have the knowledge about status, but for me, it's something new, and I just want to show you about it. And the example that I took here from our tutorial in university, and I find that it could be improved better if the tutor can tell us what is it exactly from the beginning about the data screening and what kind of variable and the meaning of it before starting to solve the problem. But here it's just like very simple command on this data. It's nothing advanced, nothing complicated. So it's really introduction and really basic. First of all, normally when before you do something with the data, you have to load the data in STATA and make sure that you set your working directory first and right. Normally to do the setting the directory, you can use the command cd. And one way is like you can copy paste it, Ctrl C, or you can right click and copy and you put it here, but remember to make it in quotes so you can already set up your CD, the working directory for the set of the data that you're working on. The next thing in you have to load the data, right? Because you want to know what kind of data you are working on. So to load the data, normally there are many kind of data sets. They are saved in different formats. But for data, the format could be DTA, like .dta. So for example, in this kind of data set I'm going to load on the data is the birth weight 2A. I can show you that the data set, birth weight 2A, right? So you can type it, or if you don't want to type it, you can copy paste it like this. But you also have to use a function, the command use, and to clear, like you clear all of the command and everything before that, and to load the data. And on the right side of data, you can see a list of variable here. And the label is mean the meaning of the variables. And here you can see some kind of information the data are, the file name, the label, and also the number of variables. So here we have 18 variables, and observation is 1,832, and the size. What is more important here, like these are two kind of information that you need to remember, the variable and observations, because sometimes the data just conclude and it consists of the missing data. So that is the maximum the observations. On status, they also treat the missing value as dot, and it also to be take care when you do the command, because you always take care of the missing data, or else store regressions and the information that it tries from the data could be wrong. And you see a list of a variable here. At least you should read the label to understand what kind of data is about. So like you see is the birth weight. That is the data about the birth weight of the children from the pregnancy women. So we have a little variable here, the mother rate that is counted in years, mother education, year, month, parental care began, total number of prenatal visits, the father rate, the birth weight, and also something relating to the APGAR score, cigarette, drinks, Also the gender of the baby, mother, father, and also the ethnic group. So at least before doing something, please so look at the name of the variable and label here to understand what kind of data you are talking about and what kind of data you are going to analyze. That is something a very mistake from our tutor because she just run straight into the command and just ask us what kind of command we should use there. That could be okay for someone already have the very basic introductions and also basic knowledge about the data. But for someone that is new to me, that is really hard if you don't have any material or something like what kind of command to use this, that to analyze this and that, or extract the information. That are very simple questions, but it's very hard because we know nothing about data. So at least as before doing something like this, you should to have an overview of data. To load it, but to have used some command like rows to have some informations like this. Like you can use browse command to see what kind of data here, like overview of it, like this, right? Please, you know what you are talking about. And also you can use the sum. Sum here it means summary of the data. You can see the latest variable here, the number of observations, the mean. The mean is like the average. It's equal to the total value, the sum of the total values of all observations and divided by the number of observations. So we have the mean. So you can understand mean it like the average value. You have the standard deviations and the means value, the match value. So at least you have the little variable here, and you can see the observation like some compared to this, the maximum observation is 1,832, but sometimes you see that it fulfill, but the other variable have less than that number. So it means that there are some kind of bottom data like the missing data, for example, and you have the mean here, and also you see like the mean value and max value for each variable here. So it's really easy. So at least try to do this before doing something else because it can give you a lot of information about the data before doing something else, right? And the next thing is the next comment that you can use to have the overview of the data could be described. Like you want to know the meaning, the label, I mean the meaning of all the data, you can use the comment describe. So I think it really convenient for someone who have the advanced level of the language, English language in overall. But I mean, English is so popular here, so you can know. So you have described the data, observation, the variable, the number of variable with 18, and you have the variable name, the display one. Actually, this kind of thing you don't need to care that much, but you know the thing like this. So there are two ways. If you want to know about the number of variable and just the meaning of it, you can look at here. Or you can use the describe command to look at here. So I think that is the three basic things you need to do before doing something else. The next thing is like the next questions. Now you are going into the detail of trying to say to get a more understanding or deep understanding of the data. So the first question, like if you want to order all the variable in alphabetical order. So you see here a lot. It's only 18, but sometimes the data is very long, like they have a lot of variables. And it just look at this, you see that it's mixed up. It doesn't follow any order at all. So for example, if I say, just look at me, the variable name, like the father is white, so it means FWATE. But if it is alphabet order, so it's easier to find, right? But if it's a lot of it, oh well, where is this? Yeah. No, it's male. But the father, no, it's the mother and it's the father. So you can find it here. So to make things easier, I think you can do the order to do like the user command order. Like whenever you see the command is something that they ask you to do. So use that word. Maybe it could be the command that you need if you don't remember how to call the command. So for example here, if you want to call like you rearrange about the variable name in the alphabetical order, you can use both and then you can use alphabetical. So this too easy. I mean, when you write it, you find it easy, but if you don't know about it, how do you say that? Oh, how can you use the order of all the variable name with just capitalize just like this and just use all and then answer? Of course, you need to know. I mean, like you can Google or something when you do on in advance, but if you know it, it's good. But if you don't, you have the help like here, and they can give you some information about what kind of command you can use. But I mean, the more you learn, the more you do the practical work, the more you remember. So I think that is nothing like you learn the basic, you learn the skill, and you can apply for the actual project. So you can order it here. So as you see, in the right side is already alphabet order, the B, C, D, F, and O. Okay, so it seems to be a little bit easier now with the data, right? And the next thing, for example, if I want to, what does the variable MBVIS depict? What is MBVIS here, right? You actually see the label like total number of the prenatal visits, right? That is what they depict. What does it mean about the MBVIS? But for example, it's a lesser name like even though you are in alphabet order, it's very hard to run through the calculate. It's only 18, so it's easier. But how to do that with the command? Like I said, try to pick up the words in the instructions. Like it's a debug, so it means it needs to describe the variable. So you can use the command describe again. And there are two ways of writing the variable. You know that the stator, they always just only read exactly is the name of the variable. If you write exactly that they can read it. If not, you cannot. Like for here, you have to write exactly MBVIS. Or if you don't want to write it, you can use this. So it's kind of clear there. So enters. So you can see that the variable name reveals the variable label a total number of prenatal visits. You can do that the same with male, for example. Okay, or we can do another thing like cigarette. Okay, let's see cigarette, or you can use this one, right? So it's the average cigarette per day of the pregnant mother. You can do the same with other kind of variable to have the overview what it's about, what each variable is about. And okay, so that you know about the what it's about. And how about the value range? Like if you want to value range of MBVIS or the value range of the cigarette, like what the minimum, the maximum. Like you already see before, we use the sum, right? The sum can give you the means or the max value of that variable. So you can do the same with MBVIS. So for example, so you can see the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 40, right? And the observation is just like 1764. So there are missing value here for these variables. And some MBVIS, you can do that with the same cigarette, for example. So the minimum was 0, the maximum 40 is the average of cigarette. The number of robots is a little bit lower, but it's not what you are care about now. It just say that using the sum, something means summarize. You give you the overview information about the variables as well as the whole data overall. Okay, so for example, if you want to which value appear the most and how often, for example, the MBIS, right? So it means like you have to find the values that appear the most and more often. You don't know this, like you can look at the big data, like I said, do you remember this, right? Of course you can find this, but it just a lot, more than 1,000. How can you see that? So the one way you can do is you have to load that table. Table here can be written with command tabler, and you can use BIS here, right? So it show you the total number of visits, the frequency, like how much the value appear, the percentage appear in that, and accumulate here to be 100%. So as you see the frequency, which one is the highest? 618 and 33.03%, right? So this is the highest, easy to see here. So the next question, like how many cigarettes per day did a mother smoke on average during pregnancy? So like I said, the whole data is about the pregnancy, like the mother with the pregnancy, and we have average cigarette per day, the variable name 6, and also on average. On average, so we have the average here, and on average you can think about the mean. Like I said, the mean it means like the average value. So how to say that? We also do the same. We have to sum the cigarette, give you like the mean here, right? So it means on average. It's 1.089. So you can say 1.09. It's okay to say that when you do the report. So that is the average of cigarettes that the mother did during the pregnancy. The next question is, what is the difference between the mean birth weight of women with 12 or more MBBIS and the women with less than 12 MBBIS? Like you know, the MBBIS is the total number of prenatal visits. So we are trying to look for some mean birth weight. Okay, so the birth rate here measured in grams of someone who have a total number of prenatal visits more than or equal to 12, and compare it with the birth weight measured in gram of a woman that goes to have a total number of the prenatal visits less than 12. Okay, so to do that, first you need to know the value, the mean birth weight. If the woman have the more than 12 or equal the total number of the prenatal visit, so again, you know that sum can give you the mean, right? So you can use a command sum, and we sum which one, we need to know the mean birth rate. So we need to use the sum birth rate, but we have a condition. So when you look at the condition, you think of if something like this is something like that, that is conditions of everything. And you know another variable that appear here is like MBVIS of somewhere in more than and 12. So just say like in math, more than like larger or equal to 12 digits. But like you said, like you see here, the number of oppositions and with IS is less than the total numbers here. So you mean they're missing value. We need to care of it, like we need to omit the missing value or else the result is wrong. So it means like the MB, BIS that have to less than. Remember, instead of they read the dot, it means like infinity. So by saying this, you just count. You just count the real numbers. Like if they're missing value, for example, like you can see here. Okay. So what is MBBIS here? So you see the like the missing value is also a dot here, so it means the infinity. So we say if we say that it less than the infinity, so it means they only count this kind of number, the real number, and they will omit the counting of this. So the result that you got is more exactly. So you have only mean about so you have the totals. The total of the women, the total pregnancy more larger or equal to 12 visits. So you count it and you divide the number of the women right there, and you consider and you count it with the mean of the birth weight with same exactly like that. So for example, with so you only count first the MBI base, the omitted kind of values because it's a missing value, and you compare the birth weight here. So they count the or only once they only count about the 1/7 observation here because the missing value reason you see that is at the 1,764, and now they only count the 1,063. So it means like more than 60 missing value for the MBBIS variable. So they only count this existing one. So you have the mean here like 3,434 or maybe 2,440 grams for the birth weight of the people like the mother with MBBIS larger than equal to 12. You can do the same with the birth weight, but now you have MBBIS and BBIS like this. You can copy it and you can type it again, but now at the moment it's like less than 12. You have to do less than 12 MBBIS like that. So the option is much less than that. And the mean is 3,343 grams of the birth weight of the children. So finally, something you need to care about the kind of methods like only care about the missing value, or else the result could lead to some a value that is wrong. And you want to show like, oh, what is the difference between the mean here of the someone in more than or larger than 12 visits and someone in less than 12 visits. So you can use display, comment, and you can just use like the normal math here, but it's display you about the information. So it's like so display is something like you use to display the result of the simple math like sum, like minus, divide or divide or multiply, multiplication. Care. So the next question could be like you wonder how many children have their mother and father being the same age. How many children have their mother and father being same age? So it means like you have to count, right? How many? When you think about the how many something, you need to remember you want to count it. So you use the command count. And also because I have the condition like the father and mother are the same age, so you use the condition if count, if something this, if something like that, and you know the age of the fathers and the mother. For example, here we have the mother age, right? So instead of you use like double of equals, it means like the same. I think it's other kind of methods, it's the same notations. Okay, so you have the father age, yeah, here. So we will carry something have mother and father age. But like I said, always take care of the missing value. Like if you look at here, mother age is okay, have the maximum value, but the father age here is less than, so you have to take care of the father rate is not the mixing, or else it's just the same. You use this command here, so it's more than that. No, you don't want to count it, so you want to use this. It means a difference. So the exclamation and equal to this one, like um, you don't want to count the value that is notated as the dot, like the infinitive. So we use the comment like this, and it means like both of them have to appear or happen simultaneously, and display and equally mean different. So we have the 235 children that have the mother rate equal to father rate. How many children have the mother and father being the same age, as well as having the same years of education? So you can use the same command like this, but they also have the same of children, so you can have the father educations that also equal to mother education. But also, like I said, we also take care of the missing data. So we have the mother education here, have the missing value because it's less than 1,832. And how about the father education? The same. But actually, I think we only need one of them. It's like Latin in different form. So the other is the same, I think. But let's try with 128. But for example, if we do the same and we so okay, next we use the same command to answer the questions how many children had the mother and father being the same age, as well as having the same years of education. So like we did previously, so we will have the count if the mother and father are the same age. And now we need to see the father and mother with the same education. So we have the father education here. So same, the double equals, and the mother education here. But like I said, you have to check the missing value here. So father education, yeah, you see the missing value. And how about the mother educations? Here also have the missing value. So let's try. We need to equal the kind of missing value from our count. So using exclamations, it's different from this. So we have the answer 118. The children will have father and mother as the same age and the same years of educations. But also let's try if we can use this and we can count the mother educations different from it. You see there's the same result. I think it could be good. And to be more safe, you use the board like father education, different for missing value like infinities, and so I think it could be the same thing. Yeah. But I said if you make this kind of command, so you just need one of the different form. The infinities and the missing value, so it means like they're nothing equal to another real numbers. So they give us the same result, 118 children. And the next thing, the next question, we have to count how many children have the parent with different ethnicity. So as you already see in about the variable names, we have white here. We also have black. And the hints, I consider the category others as an ethnic group. So it could be other here. So we have a three category, black, white, and other ethnic group. So just think about it. We also need to count how many children. So of course, the count command is here, and we have the condition. They don't need to be the same ethnic group, so they don't need to be same white, not the same black, and they're not the same other ethnic group. Um, so I mean, both of them that happen to be at the same time. It could be not to be white and not to be black and not to be the same ethnic group. So it means you can think it like Father White is just different from Mother White, right? Um, so now we just think about it. We cannot use and here because it's not something necessary. It's not something that happen at the same time. They just don't need to be black, and they don't need to be. If you and like not the same black and not the same white and not the same other, well, what are they? So if we give you the zero thing, that's right. I think it could give you the zero value because it's um, collecting. Okay, I have the W. Sorry. Um, so it is different from Father Black. Yeah, and sorry, and mothers is others and father is other fourth here. So it can be father for you. Right, yeah, see, you see the count here is turned into the zero value. So it means like if they don't if they don't be black, they don't be white, they are not other ethnic group. What are they? So of course there are no value like that. It's they just need not to be the same. So I think here you have to change the and into or and kind of all the nickname. So instead of you can use this kind of symbol to say or, not to be one, not to be like or, not to be the father. Yeah, you had 46 children that satisfy the conditions. And the next question is how many of them are male? So I mean like in 46 children here, how many of them are male? And you see like the male here, if baby equal to one, if the baby is male. So it means like we have to count this first, right? And to say that you have to put them in the bracket and also you count how many male here equal to one. So we have 24 children. If you don't make it, let me try to show you like if you don't make the brackets, they will give you another logic and another result as well, so like 46. So I mean like maybe they just count anyone and this condition is not considered. So that was the same result 46. But if you put it in brackets, so it means like you know the logic math, like they will do something in bracket first and then they will continue to do with it. So they will count the number of children that the mother and father doesn't have the same ethnic group. And then in 46 children that we found here, how many of them are male? Okay, so that's the end of the first problem here. And like I said, you see, before doing something, you need to do some kind of comment to have an overview of the data to see what kind of variable they have the missing values and have the graph idea of the mean and mass informations and what the variable label and I mean the meaning of variable here because normally variable name will be written is in short notation like this. So if you don't understand the variable meaning, it's very hard for you for analysis later. And also already take care that some command is kind of the same when you do the Excel file or in zoological math. So it should not be a problem for you to follow it. If to say something harmony, you need to mean count it. If you know the mean, you use the summary. If you want to describe and depict the meaning of the variable, you use a describe. And yes, that is basically the introductions of the some basic command on the STATA. And always remember to read the data to get an overview first, and always check for missing value and consider them when writing your command, because you see a lot here. If you don't consider the kind of missing value like this, your result could be wrong. So just get it. And if you like my video, just like, subscribe, and the next video I'll try to tell you more about another example and use other command like you plot the data and the regression to have the more deep understanding about the data analysis.